She likes knowing what's in this area.
Just examining you. I have never heard of an alien.
No, I don't think that you would. I come from the stars, so it's quite unique from here.
It's rare to find monsters that talk here.
I'm not necessarily a monster.
You're a monster.
You smell like one.
Fair enough. Oh, I just want to let off winter pheromones. Is that better? But I don't want it to be seen like a hostile thing. Well, I promise I mean you or your tribe no harm, as so long as you're not going to attack me or any of my companions.
Kind of shakes her head and glances kind of behind you towards the floating vehicle. Says, I do not think it would be worth the effort.
Nor do I.
You have little for us to eat, it seems.
Is that your only care, is food?
It's the only one that matters.
I suppose. Well, it'd probably be like, oh, I suppose if you're a scavenger, not realizing that that's an insult to people.
You say, I suppose if you're a scavenger?
Yeah.
She just kind of nods, doesn't seem to take it as an insult.
Okay, good. Yeah, Willow meant no offense by it, but she would definitely just say it out loud.
Do they only eat meat?
I am... Actually, Willow's going to pause the conversation and talk to Rudge. Do we care about meeting any more of these people, or perhaps their leadership?
I don't know. I mean, having neutral or allies across this hellscape wouldn't be the worst thing.
I was thinking, what do you think about offering up maybe hunting down a couple of those beasts for them to help?
Oh, well, that'd be easy.
That's what I was kind of thinking.
Shit, I'll fucking bring back a couple right now. Hold on.
Rat paw it is, right?
Yes.
If me and my companions
and float them,
killed a couple of these creatures and brought it to you as a gift of friendship, would you be willing to introduce us to more members of your tribe, perhaps the leadership?
She kind of sits back and bouncing on her heels and says,
we are explorers and we would like more friendly folks as we travel through parts.
Why are you here? Just to explore?
For the most part. We are scavengers of sorts as well.
But not only for food.
A different variety. We don't necessarily need just the food. We prefer the metal and other bits throughout areas like this.
Are you looking to trade?
Potentially, if you have something worthwhile.
We have shiny rocks.
Maybe. We were going to pick off some leapers. If you bring them, then I think we can show you to our meeting place.
Can I grab a couple and just start floating them?
You
200
can.
feet.
Can you do that while you're still hovering the vehicle?
That'd be the one I'm using. I'm gonna weightlessness 2 of them.
Okay. You do have to be
200 feet.
You can't do it through the windshield either.
Okay. Then I will get out and I will just hover the truck while floating myself.
Yeah,
I'll
you can
stand
just
on top of the truck.
stand on top of it, yeah, or float near it.
Yeah, I'll basically fucking Magneto myself around with the truck instead of the little sphere.
Do you have that much weight, now?
What's that?
Do you have that much weight capacity nowadays?
Oh no, that's right. There is a.
For zero gravity, it's an area effect, right?
Yeah, no, zero gravity does. It's the reducing things. That's the weight.
You got so many damn powers that are totally different in how they operate.
Yeah, because that's why I make things weightless, is so I I can reduce them down, and I don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, yes, there's a weight limit for that one.
Okay. How many of these things are you going to try and snag?
2.
That's what I was gonna say. How many do they want? I was gonna ask.
Oh, I
how many would suffice?
How many of them? How many of you are there?
Well, 2 technically, and
That is
then
irrelevant.
and then 2 of, and then she'll point to like the wasp drone circling around above.
Oh, plus
So
0.
two, and that's what I mean. Like 2
Yeah.
non-living creatures, and then 2 living
Wait,
creatures.
2 plus 0. Wait, what? So 2.
3 plus 0.
0? Zeros? Why do you keep adding 0? To the
No, isn't it what, Poncho?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but I mean,
Yeah,
I'm saying like the number, you know. Why do you keep adding the number 0 to
2
this
plus
equation?
0 is 3.
Yeah.
There are 2 organic creatures and then 2 non-living robotic entities.
She kind of thinks for a second and says, 2 is good. Pets don't count.
Okay.
Willow's like, I'm technically both of us. Willow like begins to like contemplate telling her and explaining it to her to see if that changes the math because she wants to be fair.
Oh my god. You're overthinking this genius level.
Oh yeah, like, yep. All right, wait here. I'll be right back.
So Rudge, you're going to try and pick off 2 of the leapers before they get back to their house.
Yep.
Okay.
I'll try to get the back. I'll
That's
try
a
to get
200-foot range.
Yep, I'll try to get the back ones so I don't alert the rest, but it's probably not going to matter. They're probably going to scream and
All right. So yeah, I mean, like you just do it when they like jump
Yep.
and get them sort of floating through the air.
Yep.
If it gets that bad, me and my wasp could always take a strafe at the front ones to distract them.
Yeah. So they you grab 2 out of the air and they kind of like they make like cricket sounds.
Yep.
As
As crickets would do.
Yep.
the others seem more intent on like dragging their prize food,
Nice.
the dead scorpions back. With only 2 of them down, you do see like another like dozen or so kind of like cluster up around the house, like the houses,
Okay.
the nests.
Which are the
As
stumps?
they're kind of like getting closer. Yeah, the stumps.
So the nests go into the ground basically. They're like, you know, because how tall are the stumps?
These stumps are like some of the larger ones are like several 100 feet tall.
Oh, even okay. Sorry.
Yeah, like 200 feet tall.
So what I was picturing was just like redwood stumps, basically, you know, like maybe 5 feet tall.
No, like
still,
there's a couple really large ones that are like 100 feet in diameter.
No, I mean
so
still like just
ridiculously
trees.
large trees.
Yeah, monster trees, like basically monster mutated redwoods, but still just on the ground, like chopped off at ground level. I didn't think they were that tall.
The petrified stumps of
So those
super big trees.
Those are huge.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, wow. So that houses
Fascinated.
That houses a lot.
Yep.
There's a lot of bugs in there. My god.
Yeah, so you're able to nab the 2 bugs and kind of like float them. How are you gonna deal with them?
I'm gonna keep them 200 feet away from me, and we're just gonna let Willow deal with them when she gets over here.
Okay. Willow, how are you gonna deal with them?
Willow, I've got a couple floating in the air for you to hunt.
This thing's really unfair. These are most likely mindless beasts, right?
I don't know. You can try to talk to them. Tell them a joke. If they don't laugh, kill them.
Willow will tell them like the best joke she can come up with, which is probably like elementary school level jokes.
There you go.
And see
I
if they
get a
laugh.
little chuckle.
If they don't laugh, she's just gonna start shooting lasers at them.
They do not laugh.
Oh. Willow, you hear an audible sigh from Willow.
You're not sure if they're biologically capable of laughter.
Oh yeah, good point. Oh, she would actually probably consider that. She'd be like, Rudge, what if they can't laugh? So that joke was pretty good.
Well, if they can't laugh, then they're already dead inside.
Aw. I guess I'm gonna be putting them out of their misery.
Yes. And I'm just like, it's a bug, just kill it. I'm like in my head, you know.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, like, Willow can just, like, literally stand back and just shoot her wing lasers at these things forever.
Great.
And same with the drone. Actually, in all honesty, for Rudge, that probably looks horrifying. Because, like, Willow and, like, the Wasp are probably kind of, like, like, robotic in the sense of how, like, when they determine they need to die, they just stand there and just shoot these things to death. Because I imagine they have a decent amount of MDCs. And, you know, I'm aiming for their head to not, destroy the entire body.
Yeah.
But I imagine just like,
I mean, if there's a way to do a single kill shot, by all means, figure it out. But otherwise, the hail of gunfire is the only thing we know right now.
hail gunfire it is. Lasers. Yeah, I mean, I'll leave that up to Ben if you think that
Well, you
a couple of well-played
I could
laser shots.
spin it around.
Yeah,
and, like,
a
have
couple
you-
well-placed laser shots would kill these things. They're not super tough. By your standards. Your laser, how much damage do those things do?
So the dual blast is 46 damage for
Okay.
Willow, and actually the Wasp drone is stronger. It's 66.
Oh, yeah.
Oh no, it's 46. It's 46 damage each shot. Each
Okay.
pair.
Yeah,
Dual blast.
a couple of those shots would be enough to kill them with like they are pretty much totally helpless as long as you stay away from them.
Yeah, I'm not.
So yeah.
Unless they have
after,
some sort
a
of
couple
super jumping capabilities.
well, I mean, they can't really. I mean, they are sort of lashing out their tentacle hands and stuff, which do go out pretty far, but not
I
the
didn't even
range
think.
of a laser.
What if they have the ability to double jump?
Oh no!
They can jump in the air once.
Yep. One thing that would be probably kind of neat for Rudge to actually notice is how like perfectly timed the Wasp and Willow are timed up now because they're the same person.
Mm-hmm.
So you get to see like exact second firing.
Cool. Just linked system
Yep.
firing.
Yeah. So you
How heavy are these things?
they are. Let's see.
I mean, are they just like human size, like what we'd imagine for?
Or are they dense as hell?
Yeah, they're like 5 feet long. They each weigh about 200 pounds.
Just grab one and then let the Wasp grab one.
Yeah, you can hold them by their tail.
I'll follow, but I mean, if you're
Yeah.
gonna haul ass.
No, I'm gonna go slow. What my idea was that I wanted you to be able to defend yourself if need be.
Okay. It gets, or it'll take me at 20 miles an hour to go 1 mile, 1 minute 40 seconds. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
It does take a little bit longer than that too, because with the mass of the ATV, it takes a bit to like
To move it.
speed up and slow down.
To move.
Yeah.
Okay, absolutely.
Give me just 2 seconds. I'm gonna run upstairs and say goodnight to my kid, then I'll be right back.
That's,
I'm gonna grab the rest of my food real quick, throw it in the microwave.
sounds good. Quick break.
So, basically, coup de grace these things, bring him over.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Willow then, and not gonna really introduce. I'll probably hop back in the APC once
Okay.
we get once we get within eye shot, and then I'll just, let those drop, and because they can carry 200 pounds, can't they? Both of those, or not?
can who?
The drone.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay, so yeah, then
And Willow, I mean, has supernatural
yeah, absolutely.
strength in her form, so
That's why I said the base. That's why I amended my there to the drone.
yeah.
Like, wait a minute, of course Willow can. So now the drone is what I meant.
I think the drone's strong enough.
So yeah,
If the drone's not strong enough, Willow can carry just both of them.
both. Yep. So yeah, I'd hop back in the APC and not be visible unless they asked me to be, in which case I'd come out. Like, all right.
Sorry about that. 2-year-old demanded I hold his hand while his mom changes diapers, so.
Demanding it.
It's a
Yep.
traumatic experience, you know.
What's happening? My pants are leaving.
He pretends it's just a fight now that he can fully talk. It's just more of like an argument.
Yes.
He debates. Now why? I'll tell you why you don't need to do this.
He does. Like, the thing is, like, he's smart enough to where, like, if he just tried going on the potty, he could. Because he's a really smart kid. He just refuses to.
I see no reason to do this.
So that argument stopped a long time ago because we're like, nope, not worth the fighting.
Yeah. Yay, kids. Okay, so you bring the 2 dead leapers over to the building they're on.
Yeah.
Which at this point, the other 3 of the squad.
Oh, actually, before we do that, Rudge, do you want to study one of these really quick before we do that?
I suppose.
It might be worth you actually getting a few minutes to like just kind of look one of these over.
All right. I'll take a few samples.
Sure, yeah. I mean, you could even do that like while the APC is, or not APC, the ATV is drifting over there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the you were curious about the eyes earlier. They do have 2 very small little beady eyes right by their mouths.
Okay.
Kind of like set into their heads quite a bit.
Okay.
They also have 4 nostrils, which kind of like near the eyes. So probably a pretty good sense of smell as well. Other than that, pretty standard like insectoid. They have an exoskeleton and like the teeth and mandibles are quite hard. There is some sort of like secretion that they have from their tentacles and their mandibles, which is sort of sticky.
You're right.
Sticky and acidic.
Hey.
Minorly acidic.
I knew it.
Good call.
I knew it. See? I told you this is my fucking job. It's not like
Yeah.
I haven't done this before. I've been around.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like super acidic. It wouldn't do damage to a medically damaged creature just from that, but it's enough to like corrode stuff.
Yeah, other things.
Yeah, chew through things easier, that sort of stuff.
Yep.
It's also pretty adhesive.
Really?
Interesting. I mean, I suppose, yeah, probably create some kind of like bond by doing that.
Yeah, it's
Melt
some sort of
into
like
it.
chemical reaction that.
Yep.
You say
It's like
the acidic. It was just spit.
It is also on their tentacles.
Okay, so like
It's an interesting bit of physiology. They have some kind of like secretion glands in their legs, maybe, or maybe in their like upper torso,
Okay.
thorax. Yeah, pretty interesting biologically speaking.
Neat.
But you get enough samples. Definitely something that, like, if you had more, it would be interesting to look at them, and the secretion seems like it could be useful. But yeah, You bring it over
After a
to
few
the.
days when you go home. Kept making a big ass like bug net, basically, or bug cage.
Mm-hmm.
Capture a couple of them and bring it back.
Yep.
Yeah. So you bring it over to the squad of Scythe Stalkers on the roof there who have all come up. And yeah, similar sort of appearances to Rat Paw there. One of them with a rifle has like a really nasty like burn scar across his face to the point where like you can see his jawbone
Oh.
at a certain point.
Ooh, rough.
And he has a rifle of some sort. It seems to be like some kind of jury-rigged railgun, maybe. It looks kind of dangerous to fire. Like,
Yeah, like you wouldn't want to be the one firing.
it's super janky. But definitely like salvage technology. But you just drop the.
Does it look like he just tried to like repair one, or did it look like he just like?
There are bits added.
Together? Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Like part of the barrel was replaced with something else.
Yeah.
So you're gonna drop the leapers down on the roof there.
Yes.
Yep, we'll
Oh,
set
yeah,
them down.
That's all you know.
There you go.
All right, so yeah, Rat Paw scampers forward and kind of like takes the vibro sword and sort of like cuts into it, like stabs it in, and kind of sniffs and says, "Killed them too far away. That's okay though.
Too
Their
far
skin
away.
for
What
us
do you
to feed on them.
They're right there.
They're dead."
Okay, I think we have a miscommunication. Is that not what you meant by hunting?
That was the end result, but it's better for us if we kill them, or if they're killed close to us. That's how we feed.
Ugh.
It's
Right,
okay.
like she's gonna like actually like quickly like go over comms. Like they feed off energy of some kind.
Mm-hmm. Life force.
Interesting.
It's okay though. They don't have very much. It's mostly for the hide.
That's what I thought
Few
you.
more valuable beasts.
So they're essentially life force vampires.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. I don't know how Willow feels about that yet.
So at this point, Will, did you go? No, you didn't go ahead of Rudge because you were like sampling stuff. So they seem pretty disconcerted and very distracted by the floating ATV.
It's floating up at building level. That we're
And,
probably just standing on it, honestly.
One of you actually see two of them, like the two other melee fighters, presumably. Actually, one of them has a pistol, but they're kind of like conversing quietly to the back. One of them's like, "Is it magic? I don't think so. Psionics. Where's it coming?"
So over comms. So Rudge, your powers may put you in a situation with them if they're feeding off of life force energy. If they think you're psychic, they might think you have more powers than these type of beasts.
Yeah, they might come at me for my nourishment. That's all right. I'll just put them. I'll just have them a nice little sit on the grass or on the ground, and we'll leave.
Give them a talking to.
Yep, and we'll leave.
Scold them in their poor choice.
Yes. They're just children, basically.
Yep.
They
Yeah,
know
I just
not
wanna-
what they do.
I would just be wary of potentially using that if we do get to meet their leaders.
Oh yes, because they could be more powerful. We could get in a predicament. And
Oh no, I'm not even worried about that, honestly. It's
Oh.
just more of like, they may shoot you with a trank dart.
through my armor.
Ah, I have seen some things on this planet I was not expecting to see. Maybe.
I suppose. Well, thank you for the heads up that they're sensing.
I just know that we are also wearing electronics. If they shoot a high, well, looking at them, she trails off. If they shoot electromagnetic pulse at us, then looks the railgun taped together, with Scotch tape.
There
and
is probably tape on it, like
Yep.
quite literally.
Yep.
Like part of it is duct taped on.
My worry may be unfounded, but I do think that using your powers around others that may report you to just others in general, because there seems to be several of these tribes, so I'd rather not have a target on our back.
I understand.
Although if we get the target on our front, at least we could see them coming. I'll be okay with that.
So as you guys are talking, the Psystalkers have kind of like mostly gotten over they're still watching, but they start like dressing the two leaper bodies, just like cutting it open and like ripping off the plates and stuff.
Yep.
They seem to focus more on like the armor and like the tail and like the exoskeleton bits than the inside, which is very like gooey. You see one of them kind of pull out like this sort of like jar and spool a bunch of the like the guts into it. A couple of jars, but like they don't like fully gut it. The rest of it they sort of like just leave splayed out across the roof once they get like the main parts they need.
I'll keep note of what they're doing. Like, we'll probably actually keep an eye on exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, all the specific pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then they just like very quickly and efficiently pack the stuff up, while the guy with the gun seems to sort of keep watch, looking at you and like the surrounding territory.
Yeah. While they're doing that, Will's going to ask if there's other creatures besides the scorpion thing in these things.
The one with the gun sort of nods and says, yes, by the cursed pit, there are larger things, the scuttlers.
Oh, hey, that's where we're going to head to next. What's over there?
Monsters and power. It is a ley line.
And power. A ley line. I've heard the term. Does that have something to do with a rift?
Mm-hmm. He nods and says,
like, she's gonna point to them and be like, see, Rudge, I told you. The crazy people know what I'm talking about.
demons and other such creatures there. Much to feed on. And
Yes, the crazy people.
formidable combat.
Use them to.
Yep. I know that's
convince
that's
me.
part of this. Yep.
Yeah. These deranged natives know what I'm talking about.
Of course they do.
Exactly. If we wander that way, are we going to be encroaching on anyone's territory that we need to know about? You seem to have tribes and stuff set up, and I want to make sure that we're not offending anyone by traveling over there.
He kind of assesses the two of you and says, there are enough demons to go around as long as you don't plan to stay here. It would be best if you met the gatekeeper first to ensure that there are no misunderstandings.
Right, which is what we were hoping for.
If kind of like nods, and as they finish cutting up all the bits, they kind of stand up, and Ratpaw says, if you want to follow, we can lead you.
Absolutely.
it is a distance. We'll have to arrive via cover of night, but your thing should be able to keep up. Kind of like indicating the flying.
Yeah. Would it be faster if we like just rode on top of it?
Probably. I mean, you don't know how fast these people are, but
That's like what we're actually gonna ask. Like, would it be faster if we all just rode on top or if you all just rode on top of the ATV? Or do you have a specific path you kind of are required to take?
they all look quite uncomfortable at the prospect, and
but Willow wouldn't notice.
Ratpaw just says, "I don't know. We have a path. We have paths."
Fair enough. Then lead on.
Kind of like nods, and they start off on like sort of a jog. So they start moving, and there is definitely like the paths they're taking are mostly like on the rooftops.
Parkour.
Yeah, parkour stuff. They do have like the occasional sort of zip line that you wouldn't. It actually looks like it's some of them are even made out of the like webbing of the scorpion spiders, and it's scattered in a way that you wouldn't really pay it any heed unless you like knew exactly the route.
Yeah.
And they move pretty fast across the way.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine they do, as this is their home and they're scavenger type.
Yeah, they look quite practiced. And there always seems to be like their method is they have like a point person and like a tail person, and like those two keep watch, and like they sort of like cover each other in a very like cautious way as they're still moving quite fast.
How many are there total?
4 of them.
Okay.
In the solo group. Yeah, so that being said, they're not moving as fast as a suit of flying power armor. So it does so it takes you a couple of hours to move along their path. So it's well into nighttime by the time you sort of get underway. So you guys kind of like head up this way to the north of the chasm, and then sort of down over here, like so. Okay. And once you get down to this point here, they head. This is like not quite as tall buildings.
Are they going towards the bridge? It looks like.
It looks like they're going towards the bridge. Once you get to like about here, you can see they're kind of going this way, and that's the only real notable thing over there. And with nighttime, you can actually see there are like lights shining from the tops of. So it's like a lift bridge, like in like Duluth.
Yeah.
And as you approach more, you see there is quite a bit of like development on the 2 towers and the bridge itself, which is raised. And just kind of like shacks and stuff like taped onto the side of the thing, pretty much. A little bit ramshackle, but fairly defensible from something that isn't an aerial threat.
Wahaha. Pew pew pew.
But yeah, once you get to like here, they're mostly moving on like ground level, and slow their pace a little bit on approach. You see I don't know. Yeah, I guess you're probably watching them fairly cautious or like thoroughly,
Yeah.
just out of interest more than anything.
Yep.
The Rat Paw, who's like the point person, gets out what looks to be like a laser pointer and kind of like flashes it at the closer tower a couple of times, and you see like a flash response.
Ooh, Morse code.
And as they approach, so once you get to like the base of the tower, they kind of like stop and look, sort of like gesture for you guys to come down. One thing I would also say you notice on the tower is there are a couple more super janky looking railguns and various other projectile weapons. One looks to be like a catapult of some kind, like mounted around the tower and like sort of defensive battlements.
Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, it's creative.
Yeah, I mean, do what you can with what you got.
Yeah.
If you choose to live next to a ley line, I mean, you got to have something.
Yeah.
If anything, just it might just look impressive from the ground, and if that's enough,
Mm-hmm.
so be it.
So you're gonna land down next to them.
Yep.
All right.
With a good heavy thud, because Willow's definitely in her metal form too.
Yeah. So when you get within like easy speaking distance again, Rat Paw says, "Do you mind if your vehicle stays here?"
I have no personal attachment to it.
Nope, that's fine.
It can be brought up on the bridge, but it is late to move the bridge right now.
It's fine.
I just landed wherever the fuck.
Just a vehicle.
All right.
It means
Do
zero.
like the beep boop, lock it.
Yeah. It means nothing.
Yep.
And so they very well, follow us. We will bring you to Skarn.
I really do like that both Rudge and Willow are like self-sustaining people. Like we don't need stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, you can just kind of. It's like, we don't really need weapons even.
No.
Yep.
We don't. We are weapons. Our
Mhm.
abilities are weapons.
Yeah.
Which
They're convenient and pretty, but we don't need them.
yeah.
It's our bling.
Yeah, so you go over to like the base of the tower, and there's a couple of lookouts there that let down like this metal ladder, sort of sliding metal ladder to the ground. And you guys start climbing up that.
I mean, if I was gonna say, if we're climbing up
Might-
the janky ass thing, I'm gonna definitely go out of my metal
Yeah.
form.
Yeah, I was gonna say the ladder does not look like it will hold you very well.
Is this on like the outside of it?
Yeah.
I mean, I'll just hover up because my outfit can hover.
Yep.
I don't
Yeah,
need
that
to
works.
fly it.
Um,
Yeah, I mean, like while I'm on like all this janky shit, I will be out of my metal form. If I feel like the ground can support me, I'll go into my metal form. But if I feel like it's just kind of janky, I'll just stay out of it.
right.
Alright.
I'll let you decide how.
Yeah, so the sort of like outer catwalks here that you're going on right now look a little questionable, but once you get up to the top parts, it's fairly sturdy sheet metal.
Okay.
So it seems
I will just
to be fine.
make
to-
myself 400 pounds lighter.
Well, how much do you weigh?
Well, I weigh 225, and then I don't know how much my armor weighs.
Not that much.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think if I remember correctly, I mean, actually, I have
I
it
think
right
it weighs
here.
like 20 pounds or something.
Really?
Yep.
Cool.
Yep, and that's like
Yeah,
the
I
heavy
mean
armor.
it's like advanced.
Okay.
So
So then I'll make myself 250 pounds lighter.
I mean, you also think like 20 pounds is actually a lot for armor still.
Yep. Okay.
20
Yeah, I mean,
pounds
like,
close.
so just as an example, like
I just
the
for this high tech shit that's mega damage.
Nalian heavy armor, which is heavier than normal heavy armor, is 25 pounds. So light armor is 18 pounds for Nalian. So if you're wearing light armor, it's probably like 12, 13 pounds.
Yeah.
With the sensor suite and all that, and a bunch of.
Yeah,
tech
that doesn't weigh
inside.
that much.
Okay. I was just saying, like,
might be-
there's a bunch of tech inside.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might be a little bit heavier because you're taller than humans, but
Yeah. That's good.
yeah.
I suppose you do have your little refrigerator with you.
Yeah, so as you guys get out, and especially Rudge, once you get up into the top area and start walking up the sort of like switchback stairs that climb to the top of the tower, you pass by a couple of the Psy Stalkers, and they seem very interested in you. They all kind of do this weird thing as you like go by them, where they like stare at you very intently and like open their mouths and kind of like almost taste the air around you.
If they like after the second or third one of that, I just get all up in their grill and take a picture of them doing that.
All right.
Like,
Yeah,
just
it's like
they are.
a couple steps back as you like do that, but
Interesting. Are you
What?
click? Are you fucking?
Yep.
Are you? Smelling,
Okay.
Are you sensing my powers?
the one that you does too kind of like nods and says, "Yes, you are a strange creature.
Are there
Do
others
you-
like you?
Have magic."
I have something. I have abilities. Given at birth. Are there others like you on this planet
Many.
that can sense the powers of others?
Many.
Not more like in your tribe. Other creatures.
Some.
Have the humans have you know the what's it called the coalition developed this?
Probably.
All right. So I go on because I mean we're gonna talk to the leaders. I just
Yeah, this is like interrogating this random like
Yeah.
lookout.
hey he's
Strander is probably a crackhead.
yep that's all right. He got up in my business.
Yeah, that's
Smelling
fair.
my powers, huh? Well, I got some questions for you.
Yeah, so as you kind of walk up to the top level, you hear a series of like ruff, 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 like growling noises, a couple of like small howls, and then like a voice of like, "Hey, shh, down, easy boy, hey," and walking up to finally getting up to like the top level of the tower, or at least the part that's level with the bridge. You see a couple more Psy Stalkers and what seem to be these very, very weird looking dogs. They're like medium size, so yeah, about the size of like an Australian Shepherd, around there.
Okay.
And they are hairless and have like sort of tentacle mouths.
Huh.
Yeah, like a fucking
like-
goblin dog kind of thing going on
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, like sort
Like-
of like these like sort of tendril feeler type things.
And like a mix, like the John Carpenter's The Thing.
Yeah,
Like if the dog was okay with being assimilated with an alien.
yeah, and they have these like collars around their necks and a bunch of like leashes, which the stalkers there kind of like pull back as you guys come in, and the like tendrils of the dogs kind of like wiggle around, sniffing at you. You also see the top of the bridge, which has a couple of what looks to be like caravan type setups, like big wagons and stuff that are like stored up here. And quite a few, several dozen stalkers just kind of like ambling about next to like cook fires and stuff. Moving further up to the very top of the tower, you get to an enclosed room, which it sort of doubles as like an observation tower and like some kind of meeting room. They've got a big table in the middle, and you see the Science Stalker in there looks to be older. He has very like weathered skin that kind of like sticks to his bones, giving a very gaunt expression. Oh my god, that's horrifying. Fucking mandibles.
Mm-hmm. Well, you said that they fucking. That's. How is that any worse than what you described?
Yeah, touche. Yeah, so he's like very gaunt. Has a fair number of scars across his body. Namely one that looks like it almost like split the bone of his eye socket a little bit, and like that eye is kind of lazy. It like doesn't quite point the right direction. And
who are you looking at?
hey, his armor is pretty cool though. It's got you actually recognize the sort of bandings across his shoulder and chest as the horns of, or like one of the several of the horns of that rhinoceros lizard thing that you guys fought. So with like the blade edge out. Yeah, you guys walk in and Ratpaw kind of like skitters forward and like bows in front of him and says, "Gatekeeper Scorn, these are the creatures, the Explorer. They want to trade. They killed 2 leapers for us."
It only took us seconds. Well, a minute.
And the Scorn kind of looks at the two of you and says, "Oh, you don't look like demons. I have never seen a demon wear advanced armor such as this. What are you called?"
I am Willow.
I'm Rudge.
"And you come from beyond the rifts?"
Dude, the stars.
Yeah, so we come from like, I'll point straight up, like, come from past the stars. By this point, like, Willow's probably tried to track down like where her general star system's at, but she has no fucking idea.
Yeah, like in the night sky.
Yeah, she probably like points up. She's like, I think it's that way.
From another Nalians are a different galaxy, right?
Yep. Yeah.
So be a lot harder to figure out.
Yeah, she's unaware fully that it's from a different galaxy.
Yeah.
Like she has a general idea, but
yeah. Yeah, so he says, "That's odd. I suppose that explains your curious nature."
yeah. So sorry for our unannounced visit. We are actually explorers that were investigating the city because everyone seemed to be afraid of it, and I guess now we know why. Yep.
It is a forsaken place of monsters. Just so happens that is what we need to survive.
Is it only
a rough life?
We cull their number and make sure that they do not spread beyond its borders.
This is a rough life. I commend you for being so hardy of a people.
It is not something that we have a choice in the matter. This is what we are. This is what we do.
Still impressive, nonetheless. But as your follower here, I'm unsure what to call her, Ratclaw, said we were scouting the city actually because we were looking to potentially scavenge some metal and other bits from the city if we found it. If the city is duly claimed, I obviously don't feel right about taking stuff from it if it's, as I said, claimed. So trading would be a fair deal in our opinion.
It is dangerous to scavenge in the city.
We have means.
Yeah, we are not without means. We have the capability to scavenge. It may be a slower process than what we were hoping, but we could definitely do it. But like I said, I don't want to encroach on your territory.
You seek metal.
More than just metal, but metal is my primary concern.
Technology.
Yes, anything technological.
And if you would see fit as to even send not even like a regiment of hunters with, we could aid each other. If anything does approach us, we could dispatch of them. Your hunters could gain the benefits of the essence, I believe, and the hides while we go about our business.
Kind of like nods, thinking about that offer, and says, and
And we would aid in the hunt as well if they approached us.
my
We're unsure of your culture, so we don't mean to impose on your hunting rights if it's something you consider a sacred thing.
Well,
our hunters are not accustomed to fighting with outsiders. It would be contested by some.
then by all means, it's not something I need to push.
As for salvage, we take many of the pieces of technology to be reused by our scientist here.
Ooh.
But
Oh, you have an actual scientist? No offense intended.
he is a tinker of sorts.
Willow. Rudge just knows she's smiling underneath her armor. A tinkerer, you
It's
say?
a Skitterclack. His laboratory is in the other tower.
Skitterclack. Nice.
He is strange, but useful.
I get along better with the strange ones.
You are strange yourself. It makes sense.
Told you, Rudge. Told you you're weird.
Hey. It's alright. It's the strange that survive in this world. In any world.
Fair enough.
If you wish to trade, what do you have?
Don't be slavery. Don't be slavery.
What do you have to give us? We could give you the things that we take from the city, the ones we do not need.
Well, looking around, it seems that your place is in a bit of disrepair. We could offer our services. I am most likely much more capable than any of your engineers. I could reinforce your construction here. probably beyond what you thought possible with what you have. As an example, both of us possess powers, and I feel this is one that could help you probably more than you may think. And she'll just take... If there's a piece of, like, rusted metal nearby, which I'm assuming there is,
Yeah.
she'll just reach out and fix it.
Just like
Yep.
suck all the rust out of it.
Yeah. While my time is not infinite and is usually quite valuable, I would be happy to spend some time fixing up some of your defenses to a truly formidable stance. That includes your weapons. I notice that you have several odd railguns and armaments that seem to be lacking what I would probably guess as reliability
Just
and
call it what it is.
durability.
It's ramshackle shit, and you need it better.
I was trying not to insult them, but yes, your shit is garbage and I could fix it.
So yeah, like when you do the metal things, the Sky Stalkers in the room all kind of like shuffle around and like sort of stir restlessly. But yeah, like once you sort of finish, Scorn says, "It is strange your powers, but the things you offer, I think that some of our tribe would be hesitant to deal with a creature such as yourself. That being said, I am old enough to have seen the work of the Eastern men with their guns
The
and
coalition.
armor. It is useful."
I've noticed that you have a giant tower in a pit over there. I'm guessing the bad shit comes from there.
He nods and says, "We do not go into the tower.
Do they come out to...
Dark things come from the pit."
Do they engage your fortifications here ever?
They do on occasion. We have enough numbers to repel them.
What if I gave you more firepower to deal with them so numbers wouldn't be an issue for you?
It would be welcome.
We have...
We
I
have
have
no
peop-
intention of killing them all. They provide food.
As I could imagine, but what I was thinking is I could give you several high-powered weaponry that you could place on your defenses here that could be used in case of emergency. So that way you could sleep well at night, knowing that you won't be overrun if your numbers dwindle too much.
That would be very useful. Although, when the great things come, we tend to flee rather than fight.
Like, Willow overcomes the fuck? What do you mean, the great things?
It is not often. Every once in a while, something large comes from the pit, and something large enough we would lose too many hunters trying to kill it. There's also the tower.
Yes, what is that tower?
I am not sure. A cursed place. Its doors remain shut. The only thing that I have seen come from it was the giant locusts that emerged several years ago. They went on a bloody rampage and then returned.
What the fuck are the great ones? Sorry, I was talking to my mom.
Just, giant demon
giant
monsters
demon
that crawl the pits.
Oh, awesome.
Just your
So-
average, like, murderous uber god.
Yeah,
They're
probably.
they're just monsters. They're not gods. Calm
So
down
I have-
over there.
I have a bit of a question that if you don't want to answer, I fully understand because it is a little